All right, lads. Welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. Want to pop on and talk a small little bit about Ismaïla Sarr, look at some tactical pieces that didn't go to plan against Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace obviously got the better of Aston Villa. I'm seeing in the comments there that people are saying that Fabrizio Romano says the deal is dead. He has not said the deal is dead. He said his exact words were, there are still things to resolve for Ismaïla Sarr deal between Aston Villa and Watford. Negotiations in danger after progress made earlier today. Aston Villa and Watford have full agreement, not completed yet on the player's side. Since that has been sent 46 minutes ago by Fabrizio Romano, we see that where is it? I'm just looking for it. Santi Auna as well, who's been on top of this, was the first person to break this last night, has said that Ismaïla Sarr has successfully passed his Aston Villa medical and is expected to sign a 4-year contract tomorrow. So that was 28 minutes ago. So the most up-to-date reporting we have at this moment in time is that Ismaïla Sarr is going to be an Aston Villa player tomorrow for the price of 25 million euros plus 3 million euros add-on, as was reported by Santi or last night and by Fabrizio Romano. Going to take some of your comments first. A lot of people here saying that Fabrizio has said that it's fallen through. He hasn't posted anything on Twitter to say that the deal has fallen through, unless somebody can point me in the direction of one of those. But until the words he says until he says the words the deal has fallen through, then don't be saying that the deal has fallen through, because he hasn't said that. So let's stick to the facts here, guys. Let's stick to the facts. What else have we here? Ooh, a lot of hostility in the chat. Hostility. Yeah. So I'm going to waffle about his stats. Sorry, if MC Agent Jared, I'm not going to waffle about his stats. Don't have any stats for him today. Not going to do stats. Going to do tactical piece on him instead. So so I'm not going to waffle about his stats, unfortunately. Just for context there. Transfer is now off, says AVFC Agent Jared, but Neil probably won't even see these comments and will waffle on about his stats. I'm not going to, so sorry to disappoint you with regards to that one. So, guys, look, this one is obviously something that broke yesterday directly after the game. Ismaïla Sarr was linked with Aston Villa. We said that we had a bid accepted for him almost directly after the game. It was one of those ones that came out of the blue. Obviously, a lot of people have been speaking about where does he fit in with Aston Villa. There's been a lot going on. People saying that, we need an 8, we need a centre back. I still think that there's opportunities for those to come in, specifically a centre half. I think a centre half will come through the door before the end of this week, before the transfer market closes, should I say. And I think that potentially if something comes up for a central midfielder as well. But, when transfers happen and when people do there are due diligence with regards to transfers, if something becomes available, even though it might be an area that isn't of massive need at this moment in time, or should I say maybe it isn't like the priority need that a centre half is, or that a midfielder is at the moment, when something like this comes across your table and you kind of see it and you say, right, this guy is someone that we could fit into our system and would be an upgrade, and maybe someone we want to play in that position, I think you press the button on it and you try and sign that player if the funds are there. I don't think that this is a situation whereby signing this player means that we won't have any money to sign a centre half or to sign a central midfielder. Clubs don't work that way. There's like the money is there for players. You can be guaranteed of that. And this is one of those situations whereby a player became available. Aston Villa have bid, it's been accepted. And now let's see if this one does come true, and if they do come through the door. Like all will be written tomorrow, as I say, with regards to this, if he does sign on the dotted line for Aston Villa tomorrow. And we're going to take just a small look today. This is kind of a joined up one between some of the things we did poorly against Crystal Palace. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we could be here for 40 minutes, 50 minutes on it. So I'm just going to look very, very briefly at where maybe an Ismaïla Sarr could have come in against Crystal Palace, how we could have tweaked the formation, and how we would see Ismaïla Sarr maybe fitting into this team were he to sign. As I say, it looks like he is going to sign now. Medical has been completed, fee has been agreed, and it's details with the player to be trashed out at this moment in time. So we will see what comes of that. A couple more of your comments there, as I said, just before we get going there. Where are we? Apologies. Josh says my big question for the Love of Paul McGrath podcast: surely was available for this fee all summer, so why sign now? Was he not the primary choice? No, I don't think it's as simple as that. I think that obviously you're going to negotiate, and yes, you know what the fee is, but I think the fee would have come down at the start of the season. They were rumored to have been looking for something like 35 or 36 million. I won't be quoted on that one, but I think as the price or as the end of the transfer window has come, maybe the player has turned around and said to the club, listen, I now want to leave. I want to go back to the Premier League. I've already done my stint with you guys here when you got relegated the last time, and I got you back into the Premier League with some very good performances and scoring some goals. And I don't really want to go through that again. I want to be back in the Premier League. So potentially that's something that that has happened here. And with developments like that, the price then may have dropped. As I said, 25 plus 3 for me is lower than anything that I've seen that I would have seen quoted with him before. So potentially that's something that happened. But once again, we can't speak to that. I can't speak to that when I can only speak in generalities. I can't speak to it in any sense of authority with regards to that. But yeah, look, I think that he's definitely, or he would have been somebody we would have been looking at. You know, there's going to be a whole trove of Premier League teams. I think every Premier League team probably from that finished from 7th down yet last year is going to be casting an eye at this guy. And I think probably when an opportunity cost comes up like this, that Aston Villa press the button on it, and hopefully he signs now, as I say. But with regards to the fee, I don't know, but it is lower than what we had seen rumoured at the start of the transfer window for him. But by all means, as I said, 25 plus 3 is I think is a fair price for him, considering he's come from the Championship. Thomas asks, has Paddy left the dark corner after a few scoops? I think Paddy needs another dark corner today. From like I went down the sauce last night, and Paddy went down the sauce last night, and I think both of us are probably feeling a bit worse for wear. Although his was in Africa, mine was just in sunny Limerick yesterday. It was where Limerick in Ireland was where I went for a few pints, and yeah, I'm a bit ropey today. I'm a bit ropey for sure. Where else are we there? Party DZN says, why are people going into panic mode over a Fab tweet? Percy has always been our number one guy, and he said the medical was today. Trust in Percy. I completely forgot that John Percy had mentioned about this as well. Yeah, look, as I say, it could break down. It may break down. It may not. But everything that we're looking at the moment looks like everything we're seeing at the moment looks like it is going to progress. And as I said, tomorrow will be where a lot more light will be shed on this, but it does look like his medical was passed today. And if that is the case, then tomorrow we should have more news on this as to whether it does go ahead or not. But usually you don't do a medical unless you're pretty close to signing on the dotted line somewhere, because you know, it takes time and it takes effort to do medicals as well. Tom Ryan says it's not a winger we need, it's a creative midfielder. I'd argue a small bit about that. Well, not argue, but I'd have a different opinion. Or the point could be made, should I say, that we do need an extra winger to try and spread our play a small bit. And I'll talk about that when I show a quick little kind of piece that I have on some potential tactical tweaks and changes that this may involve. I can see the merits behind doing this if we are going to play our inverted wingers, or as people were calling them, and as I've called them a lot of times, those inverted 10s. If they become prevalent, or if they become more prevalent within this role, and I know we've got bogged down before by saying, do we play 2 9s? Do we play 2 10s? And I think the fact that having latent pace at the wing positions like Sarr has, and potentially like Bailey has, even though they may not start in the same team, as we will look at in a moment, it's something that we don't have. We don't have an awful lot of pace in our team whatsoever, and bringing somebody who can carry the ball and has pace is a positive, I think, for me. But we'll take a look at it in a moment and we'll see what the story is. Where else are we? Yeah, as I say, David Styles, you say just a bit confused by the Sarr signing. There's a point to us changing our system and us playing with wingers. I think that we're already kind of playing with inverted wingers at the moment, or inverted 10s, whatever way you want to look at it. So I think introducing players maybe with different skill sets in there, because look, it isn't working with Coutinho and Buendia playing there, because we're not seeing it. It's not working when we play Coutinho and Bailey in there behind one striker. And I think a lot of it is, you know, they're not the fastest players. Well, Bailey obviously is quite quick, but Buendia, while he looks like he's moving at a million miles an hour, and Coutinho, they're not the fastest players. So I think sometimes if we had the ability to be able to change it up there and bring in players in there and play more horses for courses type tactic, that would be beneficial. And having these bullets on the bench, or even having these opportunities to be able to change around how we play, is always going to be beneficial. I think, to the team for sure. Where else are we with regards to this? I've disappointed you. Where are we? Just on the stats. The stats will be back. The stats will definitely be back. I just wanted to take a different tack with this one because I usually do tactical analysis on the previous game, and I'll be honest, guys, I just didn't have it in me, so I wanted to take a look at what Sarr can bring and where we can put what changes I think we could bring to the team that would essentially make us a bit more stout in defence, obviously without taking away our attack or any attacking prowess, and actually probably even hiding it small a little bit, which would be good. Where else are we? Leighton Castle, this is the comment of the day. Sarr coming to Villa is great timing for me. I'm putting my house in the market on Friday, and I reckon Sarr would love his semi-detached just outside Walsall. But there you go. You have a buyer in Ismaïla Sarr, I would imagine. So yeah, if you're watching this, Ismaïla Sarr, there's a nice little semi-detached, as Leighton says, going outside Walsall. Leighton, if you want to send me your details, I'll pass them through to his agent if he does get in contact, for sure. That would be class. Oh, guys, before I go any further, actually, before we get on to the Ismaïla Sarr piece, because there's 242 absolutely wonderfully beautiful, and we do have the most beautiful audience to this podcast. I've seen a couple of you guys in real life. You're quite the lookers. Lovely chiseled jaws and all that fantastic facial features, not to mention the beautiful visages that all of you do have. And as I butter you up, I want to let you guys know about a giveaway that we're going to do. There's I don't like getting angry. I try my best in my whole entire life not to get angry as best I can. Everybody gets angry from time to time, and I think I got very angry in the post-match yesterday, and specifically in the first 5 minutes, I was full of rage, to be honest with you. But what I wanted to do is I woke up this morning, and I've been in contact, or I was contacted by the wonderful Fintan Hand at Addicted to Villa, and what we've done is we've decided to give away a jersey, an Aston Villa jersey, whatever size that you guys would like. But we're going to do giveaway over the course of this week. Try and lift the spirits. Some lucky winner is going to get this shirt, is going to get a shirt on the podcast, and courtesy of a collaboration between Fintan Hand at Addicted to Villa on Twitter, and ourselves here at Love McGrath Pod. So I hope that, guys, that will put you guys in a good mood. Tomorrow I will pop up a tweet. Keep an eye out for it. And as I say, it will be run on Twitter, and it's just going to be a very simple like the tweet and follow myself and Fintan. And then what we will do is at the end of the week, we'll pick a winner, and somebody will be getting an Aston Villa football shirt, courtesy of collaboration between myself and Addicted to Villa Fintan Hand. So I hope that will put some of you guys in a good mood, because as I say, I think we want to spread some joy after quite a negative, frustrating, and to be honest with you, just downright kind of calamitous day that we put down yesterday. Okay, so hope that puts somebody in a good mood for sure when we start that giveaway. So, guys, let's have a little look there. As I say, Ismaïla Sarr, there doesn't seem to be any more news on it. I've got Twitter open here, just waiting to see if anything else is mentioned from Fabrizio Romano, from Villa Report, from John Percy. I've got the alerts on, but nothing has popped up yet. Let's take a little look at one or two things that I want to bring you guys through with regards to Ismaïla Sarr. So what I want you guys to do is pop in the comments if you can still hear me when I talk over this, because I'm hoping that you guys will still be able to hear me when this video is playing. So I'm just going to play a little video. So this is a little transition point on how we set up yesterday. On the left-hand side, you can see here where our average positions were. We can see Cash was very high. Dino was further back, but the big problem there is in midfield. We congested our own midfield, and we were our own worst nightmare. Look, the obvious piece here is that Konza and Mings are completely exposed at the back there, and we saw from the first goal that we can see that's where Zaha got in, and we also have no direct threat through the front. some potential setups we can see here with an Ismaïla Sarr is that we go a bit more kind of stable at the back, whereby I've popped into kind of mystery players here that we may sign if they were to pop into the team. But I think by providing your width from your wingers, you have a situation whereby you can change the formation to 4-2-3-1. You get more directness from your wingers, and your fullbacks create a small bit more stability. You spread your defenses more, and you have more opportunity to carry the ball. You have an opportunity as well to inject speed into the team also. So Palace set up something similar to this, and this is how I when we look at how Crystal Palace set up yesterday, if Aston Villa had that latent space speed guy like Ismaïla Sarr, and I know we had it in Bailey yesterday, we could set up with two more stout central midfielders, use our fullbacks to protect our centre-backs a small bit more by creating a wall of four in front of our two centre-backs, create fluidity in the forward line, forward three, as you would have maybe some movement or some kind of interchangeability between maybe a Coutinho and a Buendia if you were to play both of them in the team there, while keeping Ismaïla Sarr high, and Ollie Watkins would have more of a detail to come back into midfield and link the play, very much so like Godson Edouard did yesterday. He came back into midfield an awful lot, picked up the ball, linked the play, and when he got back there, the likes of Eze and Ayew were running rampant and running forward, obviously Zaha was creating the width and was creating that high press area for their attack and also their first line of defense. So he basically stood on Ezri Konsa or on Matty Cash when he was there, and I think we need somebody to do that. I'm not quite sure that Leon Bailey is that type of forward player. I think he's more of somebody who wants to pick it up from deeper positions and get ahead of steam when he runs. But I think somebody like Ismaïla Sarr is. We've seen it. He's able to take the ball with his back to goal. We've seen him do it in the Premier League as well. And I think that's probably some of the thought processes behind here, because if we do start to play those two inverted wingers, we can still fit a Coutinho or a Buendia in the team. We could probably have both of them in the team, even if we played those inverted wingers as well, by changing to a 4-2-3-1, or even, as a lot of you guys were saying there, if we do bring Buendia and Coutinho into the team, then we play Buendia almost like a hybrid 8-10 position. It's just as that small bit of a link man that's a bit further back. But I do think if we move to the inverted winger type formation, and there's tons and tons and tons of stuff on YouTube. If I might do a video on it myself later on this week if I've got time. Very busy week coming up, and I won't have as many podcasts as I normally do. But if you want to go and watch what the inverted wingers bring and the fluidity, or I suppose the options they bring in attack, is very, very beneficial to do as well. So have a look at that. With regards to Ismaïla Sarr, too, I suppose one of the biggest things with him is he's a creative force. He's a ball carrier. He's right-footed, and what you tend to see is he's right-footed and he plays on the right-hand side. Now, that's not to say that he can't play on the left-hand side as well, because it is haute couture, as I say, very much so with the inverted wingers to play opposite foot, opposite side, if that makes sense. So right footer on the left footer on the right. We've seen it millions and millions of times before. Wilfried Zaha is that situation. Mo Salah is in that situation. Rashford, Son, Sterling, Aubameyang, Eden Hazard, all those guys in recent times have all played in that situation where you're opposite foot, opposite wing. And while Ismaïla Sarr is somebody that has played on the right hand side and is right footed, he still has the ability to cut inside, and his direct carrying of the ball is very prevalent. Like, we've all seen it. He destroyed us on his own last season when we played Watford on day one. We were particularly poor that day, and Ismaïla Sarr was just basically held high, and he was held wide, and he was an out ball at every opportunity, and he's such a powerful runner, as we know, and he's done it in the Premier League as well, which is interesting. One of the best things that he does is he's got intelligent movement with the ball. He's not a road runner as such, but he does have pace, but he's intelligent movement. But one of the biggest things that I see with him, and this was actually, I got actually some confirmation bias in this when I read an article that I can't remember where it was, but it was an article by, what was the person's name? I think it was Ali Tweedale. The person's name was their scout, and I read an article, and as I say, it was confirmation bias from the point of view that he kind of always looks like he's got a heavy touch, but it's because he's a very long and languid runner with the ball. He seems to always be in control of the ball, and he always invites tackles from defenders, which which you can say is a positive or a negative. But that he's got a massive long stride. So when I mentioned previously that Buendia looks like he's running a million miles an hour when he runs with the ball, because short legs moving at 90 miles an hour, it looks like he's running really fast. Whereas somebody like an Ismaïla Sarr, he's got a long, languid style. He's eating up ground with a longer stride, and it's something that you'll see. But obviously, when you're trying to control the ball, or when you are in control of the ball, it looks like your touch is a small bit heavier. He doesn't lose the ball that often. It's just something that you see when you're watching him on tape. One of the best things that he does have, as I say, is his ability to be able to. He started doing it last season, receiving the ball with his back to goal. He's very good at shifting players and moving them around the place with regards to that. Obviously, taking that touch to the side and using his pace to get around it. Very reminiscent of what Wilfried Zaha did to us yesterday a couple of times. He fronted up with Ezri Konsa, had his back to goal, was able to get the ball, get turned, and the second he got turned, they had that overload through the middle of midfield with the likes of Eze, with the likes of Jordan Ayew, and obviously Odsonne Edouard inside there as well. And when Mateta came on, you could see that they targeted John McGinn and Matty Cash down that wing. All it took for was Mateta to keep his central position. I think it was Zaha that was over there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe Olise had come on at that stage. But whoever was over there was able to front up with the Aston Villa defender. They got turned. Ball went out wide. Cross came in, and Mateta just had to hold his central position. But Mateta was coming through like a train. And the reason he was coming through like a train was when that initial ball was received by that inverted winger in a 4-2-3-1 position. The fullback he had the option of the fullback coming on the outside, whereas what's happening with us at the moment is we're almost getting the ball, we're getting turned, and we're facing defenders when we're laying that ball off to the fullback. So it's as obvious as sin what we're doing, and we're also curtailing the space that the fullback has. So it's a small tactical change, a small tactical tweak. It's so like I don't have confidence at the moment that Emi Buendia can hold players off with his back to goal like that, and maybe it's not what he was signed to do. Obviously, it wasn't what he was signed to do. But if we are going to have that inverted winger piece, bringing somebody who's a bit taller, who's a bit more strength to be able to do things like that to open up our fullbacks, who I would imagine if this guy is signed, our natural width is going to come from somebody like a Sarr. I think Buendia could be played a bit further wide like he was with Norwich. Obviously, you've got the opportunity to play Coutinho out a bit further wide, where he played for Liverpool. When he played some of his best football was from out wide. And I think we get too caught up sometimes in thinking that a number 10 is an absolute must. I think the fluidity and the changeability of who takes up that number 10 role at any given time is more beneficial than having somebody stand in there and be that person, specifically when we're dealing with players at the moment who are 5'8", 5'9", and we've seen that Jefferson Lerma stood on Philippe Coutinho, nullified him quite a lot. And even yesterday, when we were looking at the Crystal Palace game, Jeffrey Schlupp, who isn't really known as a defensive midfielder, more so as a left back, Jeffrey Schlupp and Doucouré really anchored down that middle of midfield and made it very difficult for us to play through that middle. But also gave them a good platform to allow the four flyers that they had up front to run at us and to cause difficulty by moving us around the place and interchangeability of their positions. Somebody like an Eze who was able to pick up the ball and run directly at us. We didn't really have anyone who could do that yesterday. Eze is, a very elusive type runner, as is somebody like Ismaïla Sarr. He's more of an elusive type runner as opposed to a straight speedster who somebody like a Leon Bailey might be. Loads of comments coming in here. Loads of comments there, guys. Firstly, thank you so much, AVFC agent Jared. Everton have agreement with Watford for Ismaïla Sarr. Sarr will choose either Everton or Aston Villa. I haven't seen that, but where did that come? Everton News ITK. Let's take a little look at that. Everton News ITK. Interesting. 28 followers. Joined Twitter in August 2022. Let's see. As I say, he might have the information that we need. He might have the information that Everton fans want to hear, should I say. But we will see. As I said, tomorrow it will be a lot will come out with regards to this. It will be all written, and we'll either know or we won't. And look, as I say, if some people don't want this transfer to go through, well, then maybe you'll get what you get what you want with regards to this one not going through. I personally think that there's merit in it. I know a lot of people are saying it's not a position of priority, but if you're late joining the podcast, I think what I want to kind of convey with regards to that is, yes, it's not a position of priority at the moment, but when these opportunity costs and these opportunities come towards you, you can't dilly-dally on it, and you can't wait. Yes, they're looking to sign a centre half and they're looking to sign a central midfielder. I think that is a given. There has always been this rumbling throughout the course of the whole lot of the summer that if the right deal, or if Aston Villa can get the right deal for Aston Villa with regards to price and player, that they will push the button on an attacking purchase as well. And I've always felt that there would be an attacker come in here. Even since the start of the transfer window, I've always felt that we needed to brush up or bring in another person in there, because obviously we knew that Bertrand Traore was probably going to go to pastures new. We knew Amar El Ghazi wasn't going to be part of the squad. We knew that the Trezeguet wasn't going to be part of the squad, and it's just an interesting one now. I think that when we've started to move players out, Josh, this is something that just popped into my mind as well. Josh Norris asked the question about the what you call it. I can't remember. Sorry, guys, my mind is only half here at the moment. I think you asked a question about the fee being here all off season. Well, I think probably what it was Aston Villa were looking to maybe free up space, because having a bloated squad as well, just bringing players in on top of players isn't financially or isn't viable from a squad building point of view. And I think maybe Bertrand Traore going out was an opportunity for us to press the button on this transfer. Maybe they've been working on it for a couple of weeks, I don't know, but I would imagine getting players out is as viable, or is as a big piece as getting players in as well, because the books have to be balanced in some way, shape, or form. Any other comments there, guys? Just going to say, excellent. High Fidelity, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's really kind. And also thanks to FC Agent Jared as well for his contribution earlier. I really appreciate that, guys. That's really sound. If you want somebody like Sarr to be successful, you need to play compact and break. Not Jared at all. You're angry because you think Jared hasn't got the intelligence to run this team. I'm angry because I think Jared hasn't got the intelligence to run it. I don't understand what that last bit means. I'm not currently angry. I was angry at the result yesterday. I'm the one here who's making I'm trying to maybe see how this does fit in with how we're going to play, how we will play Sarr with the current players that we have. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm coming across as angry. I'm not angry. I'm actually quite chuffed about this one, as I think we do need some sort of attacking additions as well to the squad too. Where else are we? Stealthy Carper 147 says, do you think there's any chance we're signing Sarr in order to move Buendia to an 8? I'd be surprised. I'd be more. I would think it's probably more from the point of view of us tweaking the formation to go to more like a 4-2-3-1. We did it a couple of times in preseason. Or as I say, I think this could be something to do with maybe just playing inverted wingers, inverted 10s, inverted wingers, whatever way you want to call it. Essentially, it's more or less exactly the same thing. I think this might be just about getting more pace into the squad as well, and a different type of runner. Into the team too, because we do need ball carrying ability. That's something I've been shouting from the rafters since the start of the season. Like whether it came from the form of Conor Gallagher, we were rumoured with signing him. He was a ball carrier from the middle of midfield, or whether it was Jacob Ramsey is the only one at the moment. The lack of being able to carry that ball forward is is killing us at times, specifically with our counter attacking. Because if it's only Cash and Dino who are given license to get wide and to carry the ball forward, well, then we're in trouble, because we're seeing that we're being left exposed at the back as well. So that extra carrying ability higher up the field, I know Leon Bailey can do it. He smashed one off the crossbar yesterday, picked up the ball, rang at the defense, came inside. And remember what I'm talking about with our inverted wingers, that was actually textbook what Leon Bailey did yesterday. Looking back at it, we would have, if that had gone in the back of the net, maybe something would have happened. Something more would have happened from an Aston Villa point of view. I don't know, but we wouldn't have deserved to have been at parity at that stage. I think that would have brought it to 2-2. We wouldn't have deserved that from how we played, but that type of play, the way that he got forward quickly, cut inside and stuck one against the crossbar, that dropped 6 inches lower, and then maybe we have a different outcome to the game where we don't lose 3-2. But it's that unpredictability, it's that counter attack, it's that fast break. I think that Aston Villa are going to look at more, because look, call a spade a shovel here. We're not dominating the play in the middle of midfield, and if we're not doing that, then we need to have some sort of plan B, or we need to have another kind of horse for another course, if that makes sense. And I think Ismaïla Sarr would definitely be someone that could do that. Seb says it's worrying that this transfer seems to be playing. Well, I don't know. Is it we're playing out in the open? Because we found out that we had agreed a fee yesterday, and we found out then that there's a medical today, and by all accounts, it seems that he's going to sign tomorrow. So I think a 3-day turnaround is quite well, actually, it wouldn't even be a 3-day turnaround; it'd be a 2-day turnaround. I think is quite an achievement as well. Yes, it's not of the secrecy of Ludwig Augustinsson or who else, Danny Ings or anyone like that. But I think a 48-hour turnaround. Look, every Manchester United fan would love a 48-hour turnaround for a transfer if this one is to come true. Jeez, they're still talking about trying to sign Frankie de Jong. Anthony is like every 5 seconds you get a new update on Anthony, how much his price is going to be, whether United are going to do it, whatever the case is there. So their transfer strategy or their transfer room is leakier than Swiss cheese at the moment, or it's got more holes in it than Swiss cheese, should I say. So I think they did a good job to keep this one quiet. And as I say, if it comes over the line within a 2-day turnaround, I think that's a plus point as well. But I understand what you're saying. We've gotten so used to finding out it's just bam, we've signed a player. And while I like that as well, 2 days of speculation is I think is okay. I think it's okay too. Let's just hope we don't lose out to him though, because as I say, it does encourage other people maybe to bid, specifically when we know what the price is and so on and so forth. Anything else here? Anything else? Sorry there. So Philly D asks, is Sarr any better than Traore? I think he's a completely different player to Traore. Traore didn't have lightning speed. Traore had unpredictability and buckets. I think that's fair to say. Traore was like Traore's first year in the team. Let's not forget that he was a pretty good contributor to the team through his unpredictability, but he never had that latent pace. And I think that's what we're looking for with somebody like Ismaïla Sarr. Could we have tried maybe more this season to get Traore involved? One of the great things actually about Sarr, and I said I wasn't going to bring up statistics with regard to this one, Ismaïla Sarr is quite a good presser of the ball. He's very diligent in pressing in the ball, pressing high up, and that's something certainly that Traore really didn't have, specifically getting pressures and pressing high, whereas Ismaïla Sarr does bring that. He's a bit more of a known quantity within his teammates, if that makes sense, whereas Traore could do anything. We all remember the no-look passes directly across the field from Traore in year one, and you'd have you'd be chewing your hands like with anxiety trying to figure out what he was doing there. And some of the brilliant stuff paid off with Traore. Don't get me wrong, I'm sad to see him go, because I will like that goal he scored against West Brom. He should have been arrested for that. That was absolute cream. It was just gorgeous. It was my goal of the season. He just passed it in there. And that's just natural talent for him. But as I say, the latent pace wasn't there. The unpredictability in the Maverick style was there in buckets. Maybe Gerrard saw that he wanted somebody who can play more to structure than somebody like a Bertrand Traore. So I think they're not an apples for apples comparison, I think, for me. Anything else here, guys? Shane says Sarr isn't what we need, in my opinion. Look, obviously we need a centre half and we need a central midfielder, and I think we will sign definitely a centre half, whether a central midfielder comes in. But I can see merits in why Ismaïla Sarr has been targeted. Look, if we only had 30 million to spend and we didn't have money for the other positions, yes, I would be up in arms here with pitchfork, but. And I may very well be like that come the 1st of September. I may be sitting here spitting nails again about stupid roster construction. But I can see the merits behind signing Ismaïla Sarr with regards to what he brings to the team, what we don't have already. And also, I'm kind of cognizant of the fact that there's 10 days left in the transfer window, and I am kind of crossing my fingers behind my back, hoping that we do bring in at least another body in midfield, whether it's a massive name or anything like that, somebody who maybe comes in and plays more to structure than some of our midfielders do, or if we bring in a centre half as well. I'm willing to give them the 10 days because I think we would be silly not to strengthen our squad, regardless of whether we think the manager is the right man for the job. You have to strengthen your squad. You can't be kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face from that aspect. That's just my view. People are going to have different views. I know people say that, and even myself and Paddy had a about it last night about why he wouldn't give any more money to Steven Gerrard. But when you look at it, Steven Gerrard has brought in Carlos, Kamara, Digne, Coutinho. Yes, Coutinho hasn't really worked. Digne has been an attacking force. A lot of our goals last season came through work by Digne there. Yes, in defence has he been left lacking? He absolutely has. He absolutely has. But Diego Carlos unfortunately got injured, and Kamara looks like he's a good player. He looks like he's quite a good player in there. We're all raving about him after the Everton game, and I don't think that he was particularly bad at the weekend. I just think he had an awful lot of work to do. So when we look at who Steven Gerrard has signed, yes, he's padded out the squad with Augustinson and with Olsen. I'd be very surprised if they weren't weren't signing by committee, if so to say. But we know that Steven Gerrard very much had his hands in Coutinho, who so far has to be said isn't working out at this moment in time. Kamara is. Carlos, unfortunately, will be to be decided this time next year. And Digne, I think I would class Digne as being a successful signing for what he's brought into us in an attacking sense. And let's see what he can do from a defending sense. If my hunch that we are going to go more with our natural width coming from our inverted wingers, and our fullbacks would stay back a small bit more. So yeah, he isn't exactly what we need now, but I think the opportunity cost of when somebody like this comes available, if the money is there, and Aston Villa have always said that if a player becomes available, they think they're the right player, the money is there to spend on it, and they will be able to spend it on the player. So I think from that point of view, we could see. I think we could see some movement from there. Scotty UK says, "I love Paddy. He's a legend. Get Paddy back on. Paddy's on holidays. Paddy would be here other than he's in North Africa at the moment, sunning himself. So I want to leave him alone on his holidays as well. So when he comes back, he'll be full of fervor for the rest of the season. And he has obviously got his takes that we all love, and as I say, I wouldn't be able to do this without him. So you think Paddy's a legend? I think he's even more of a legend than you think, because he's the yin to my yang for sure at times. So guys, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I can't really, we'll probably be back again tomorrow with more on this if it does break that he has signed for Aston Villa. I think he's an interesting prospect coming to the club, should I say. I think it's something that we can look at, and we can see that he brings a different aspect to the team. I think brings a different aspect to what Steven Gerrard can do, or what the brain trust can do with him. He's got different attributes than any of the players that we have. And as I say, I myself am holding fire for the next 10 days to see what centre half comes through, and if a midfielder comes through. And I think that if they do sign those other two areas, that I would be happy with the players we brought in, albeit I'm not happy with the performances that we are seeing on the field. And you never know, that might change. We're only one good good game away from positivity again. But at the moment, as I say, we're well within our rights to be negative about what we saw yesterday. As I say, I'm still not over it. I'm still smarting after it, and let's hope that something gets turned around really, really quickly. Whether it's players stepping up to the plate, whether it's a change in the management or changing tactics, shall I say, from the management, we will see, and we can, as I said, with fans, we can only look back at it and see it and talk about what we see when it does happen. So I will be back again tomorrow if something else does break on this. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. If you could give a thumbs up on this, I really appreciate it. There's been nearly 300 people watching this, which is just mind blowing. As I've said before, there are some TV programs in Ireland 300 people don't watch. So I really appreciate everything that you guys do. Every single one of you are absolutely, as I say, you're like your diehards. You're here every time I do these streams, and I really appreciate the time that you guys give to us. And it just gives us, it gives us the kind of the fervor and the want to come back and to do these podcasts again, because so many of you guys show up, and I really do appreciate you. Before I go as well, don't forget, tomorrow, keep an eye on Twitter. We'll be doing the giveaway with Fintan at Addicted to Villa. We will be giving away a jersey of your choice. Has to be done on Twitter. So if you aren't following us on Twitter, you can find us at Love McGrath Pod up here somewhere. I think that's it up there. You'll find us there at Love McGrath Pod, and you'll be able to follow us. But thank you so much, everybody. Go on away to bed. It's 10:15 here in Ireland. And as I said, tomorrow's a new day, and we'll see if new news breaks. But thanks so much for joining me. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.